666.
If nothing else, Alan Wake 2, the playable pulp horror novel, feels like no other game out there. The first Alan Wake game, despite a unique story premise, was a traditional horror third-person shooter, which couldn't quite keep up with big names like Resident Evil 4. In Alan Wake 2 you can also see similarities to other horror games, but the way its elements come together makes for a wholly unique experience. While it is heavy on story, I wouldn't focus so much on the actual plot, which is about FBI agents searching for a missing author, Alan Wake, who is trapped in an evil dimension because a sentient horror plot has trapped him there in his search for his missing wife. But more important is the storytelling, which is full of well-made surreal structures and meta-narratives. Wake seems to control events in the real world by writing about them, but also a higher power is seemingly controlling his actions. In this other twisted dimension, he is haunted by characters like his own novel detective Alex Casey, who wears the face of real-life game director Sam Lake, and has the old voice of Max Payne, while the original Max Payne had the face of Sam Lake. In its visual presentation in particular, Alan Wake 2 has mastered the surreal. When paranormal phenomena occur in the eerily picturesque locations through harsh color contrasts, fast cuts, blurred textures, crossfades between different levels of reality, while mixing in-game graphics with real film footage. Gameplay with the titular Alan Wake mirrors this chaotic surrealism. Apart from shooting down ghostly enemies, which is rather conventional, many other mechanics revolve around changing reality around you, or making sense of unusual parts of the environment. For example, instead of finding keys, you can collect new plot ideas with which you can change the space around you completely. Sometimes you're trapped in loops which seemingly repeat infinitely. Progression doesn't always feel intuitive, but that's not a bad thing, because you truly feel like being trapped in an unpredictable, claustrophobic dream with no way out. This is the closest a game concept has captured the surrealism of David Lynch, while also providing its own flavor of occasional nonsense, particularly stemming from Scandinavian culture. On the other side is the story of Saga, which is more reminiscent of Scandinavian crime drama. It's much more grounded in the gameplay inspired by survival horror in the vein of the Resident Evil 2 remake. There are similar small areas to explore, with puzzles to solve and finding extra weapons and such. If you're about to be stuck, you can change to your mind place, where you put together information and collectibles. But here occurs my biggest gripe. Levels are designed around survival horror, but there's a distinct lack of enemies, which takes the purpose out of many areas, to the point that I thought that my save was glitched. There's also many great looking eerie optional areas and secrets, but they mostly provide extra ammo, which you rarely need outside of boss battles. If anything, you waste your ammo on the enemies, which guard the optional ammo, making it all kind of redundant. It's a weird balancing oversight, which turns some parts into a worse walking simulator for no reason. Ironically, as well made as Alan Wake 2 is in its intended surreal jumble, in this basic area it feels schizophrenic in a bad way. It's a shame because it hinders the game from being a true potential masterpiece. Yet, it's also hard not to give credit to a high budget project which sometimes feels like nothing else on the market. In 2023, this was quite a feat.
The image of the witch in the sign. Saga addressed the witch. The smudged line on the heart.